In this video series, I'm sharing 5 key insights from my new book, Humanocracy, co-authored with Michele Zanini. Insight number 5, every job can be a good job. In recent years, organizations have put a lot of effort into optimizing operating models and digitizing business models. Now it's time to humanize the management model. The simple fact is that bureaucracy has outlived its usefulness. As many CEOs have discovered, it's impossible to win in the age of upheaval with a hierarchical, rule-bound organization. Yet busting bureaucracy is more than just creating more capable and competitive organizations. It's also about building better jobs. This is more important now than ever. Let me explain. In recent years, the establishment has taken a pounding, doled out by drain the swamp voters in the US, by yellow jacket protesters in France, by the UK's 17 million Brexiteers, by surging nationalist parties across the EU, by young progressives eager to give socialism another chance, and by a legion of demonstrators angered, rightfully, by racial injustice. What unites these discontents isn't a particular ideology, but a belief that the system no longer works for them or never did. Whether a factory worker impoverished by deindustrialization, an indebted college grad marooned in a gig economy job, or an inner city parent struggling to get their child into a well-functioning school, there's a pervasive belief that something's broken in the machinery that turns effort into achievement. A survey by Edison Research in the run-up to the 2016 US elections found that more than 90% of voters agreed with the statement that the U.S. economic system is rigged for the advantage of the rich, large corporations, and banks. More recently, in a May 2020 Harris poll, a scant 29% of respondents agree that the current form of capitalism works for the average American. Democratic capitalism celebrates the idea of meritocracy, the notion that with hard work and self-improvement, anyone can better their situation. But for many, this promise no longer seems credible. Dignity, opportunity, and a fair shake seem out of reach. Millions are frustrated with what they perceive as the condescension, unearned privileges, and self-dealing of their betters. Their grievances are not unfounded. A 2019 report by the Brookings Institution estimated that 53 million Americans, that's 44% of all workers, are now in low-wage jobs. The declining number of decent jobs has narrowed the gateway into the middle class. In the mid-1980s, according to data collected by the OECD, about 66, 2/3 of 18 to 29-year-olds were in the middle class. 30 years later, in the mid-2010s, that percentage had fallen to 58%. The eclipse of the American dream has produced a slew of policy proposals. And while some of these ideas have merit, none address what we regard as one of the most significant barriers to creating better jobs: the widely accepted belief that low-wage jobs are filled with minimally capable human beings. This prejudice denies millions of employees the opportunity to exercise their minds and enhance their skills. Typically, a job is defined as low-skilled if it doesn't require a university education or advanced training. Because such jobs require little in the way of specialized expertise, they tend to be low paid. But contrary to conventional wisdom, what makes a job low-skilled is not the nature of the work it entails or the credentials required, but whether or not the people performing the task have the opportunity to grow their capabilities and tackle new problems. The most important lesson we gleaned from our research with the post-bureaucratic pioneers is that it's possible to radically upskill what would otherwise be regarded as low-skilled jobs, like operating a forklift truck, loading bags onto an airplane, or packing agricultural produce. The vanguard companies offer better than average wages, not because they're unusually generous, but because their employees create exceptional value. There's a deep conviction in these organizations that when ordinary employees are given the chance to learn, grow, and contribute, they'll achieve extraordinary results. Over time, this conviction produces a workforce that's knowledgeable, endlessly inventive, and ardently customer-focused. The experience of the post-bureaucratic rebels shows us that every job can be a good job.